in Knowing God, said there's two things you've got to know in order to really understand the concept of grace. Grace really isn't the opposite of law. He would say you've got to understand two things to understand grace. First of all, you have to understand how lost you are, how bad you are, how dire your condition is, how big the debt is. You've got to understand that. Dr. Lloyd-Jones, again, used to say, I learned how to evangelize in preaching by listening to about 200 or 300 of his evening sermon tapes from the 50s. And they were evangelistic sermons. And Dr. Lloyd-Jones used to say, if you came to see me and said, hey, I was at your house the other day and a bill came due and you weren't there and I paid it. Dr. Lloyd-Jones says, I really wouldn't know quite how to respond. I need to know something about how big that bill was. Was it a package with postage due and you spent another couple bucks? I could say, well, thank you very much. That was very kind of you. What if it's that thing I was afraid of getting from the IRS? You know, saying, here's how many hundreds of thousands of dollars in back taxes and you paid that. I need it. He says, until I know whether to say thank you or to get down on my hands and knees and kiss his feet and I don't know how to respond to him. I don't know how happy to be. I don't know how to respond to him until I know how big that debt was. Now, if somebody says, I believe Jesus died for me, he shed his blood for me, and I've given my life to Christ. I accepted him, I walked forward, I invited him into my life. And you don't see any change in that person's life. You don't see identity shifting, behavior transforming joy. Then what's the problem? People say easy believism. What's easy believism? Well, the idea that you're just saved by grace. Wait a minute, yeah. The problem is this person clearly doesn't have any idea the size of the debt and therefore the size of the payment. Just has no idea of it. Couldn't have any idea of it. Jim Packer used to say, to understand grace and for grace to be transforming, first you have to understand the debt. The second thing you have to understand, besides the size of the debt, is the magnitude of the provision. There are people who do understand that they're pretty bad. They do understand how flawed they are. They do understand how far short they fall. But they aren't convinced of the magnitude and the sufficiency and the freeness and the fullness of the provision. They may only believe that Jesus died the death we should have died. And maybe they don't also believe Jesus also lived the life we should have lived.